I cheated on my wife 3 years ago. She agreed to forgive me if we opened the marriage, but now I live in agony every day. I, 37M, need to get this off my chest because it's eating me alive. 3 years ago, I made the biggest mistake of my life by having a brief affair with a coworker. It lasted only 2 weeks, but it was enough to almost destroy my 12-year marriage when my wife Sarah, 35F, found out through text messages on my phone. We separated for 8 months, and they were terrible on all of us, especially the children. 2 boys that are 9, 7, and our little girl who is 3. We started talking about getting back together. My wife thought that since our sex life wasn't enough for me, and that she was sure I will cheat on her again, we might as well open the marriage. I told her no because I've learned my mistake, but she wouldn't waver. I relented. She decided that we should keep the marriage open but not to tell each other the when, where, and with whom. I agreed because I was desperate to keep her. I thought I could handle it. After all, I was the one who cheated first, right? But 3 years later, I'm dying inside. Sarah has completely transformed. She goes to the gym regularly, bought a new wardrobe, and seems genuinely happy. She goes on dates about twice a month, and while she's discreet about it, I know she's seeing at least 2 other men regularly. She follows all our agreed-upon rules. No bringing anyone home, always checking in, and being honest about where she's going. Meanwhile, I haven't been with anyone else since my affair. I don't want to. I just want my wife back. We used to be intimate 3 to 4 times a week. Now it's maybe once every few months, and it feels different. The emotional connection isn't there anymore. She's polite and friendly, but the deep love and affection we once shared seems gone. The worst part? I can't complain. I did this. I broke our marriage, and this was the price of keeping it. When I see her getting ready for a date, looking beautiful and excited, my heart shatters into 1,000 pieces. But I paste on a smile and tell her to have fun, because what right do I have to feel jealous? I've asked multiple times about closing our marriage. However, she shuts those attempts very quickly with the divorce card. Our friends think we're doing great. Sarah tells everyone the open marriage was a mutual decision to explore and grow. Only her sister knows the truth, and I can feel her judgment every time we meet at family gatherings. I miss my wife. I miss our intimacy. I miss being her one and only. But every time these feelings overwhelm me, I remember that I'm the one who threw it all away first. I'm living in a prison of my own making, watching the love of my life drift further away while pretending I'm okay with it. I just needed to tell someone. I can't tell my friends or family. I can't tell Sarah because I agreed to this arrangement. I'm just so lonely, and the guilt is crushing me. If you're ever tempted to cheat, please remember my story. The aftermath isn't worth it. The pain doesn't go away. It just transforms into something you have to live with every single day. Any advice would be appreciated. Do you think a marriage can go on much longer this way? Is this a losing battle that I'm trying to fight, and just accept that I have destroyed everything we had?
On to the next story. My husband asks for a 3rd child, even though he doesn't help at all with our first 2, so I told him I'm not going to be a single mother of 3, including an update. So my husband, 42M, and me, 31F, have been married for 12 years. We have 2 kids, 8M and 4F. Our marriage is not great. His mother and sister often give unsolicited advice on my parenting, our marriage, and life in general. It is better in last few months since I sit down my husband multiple times. We talked and this time he listened, so they backed off. Not completely, but it is better. In the last few weeks, my husband started mentioning having a 3rd child, which fills me with dread. I love children, always wanted a big family, but it would be too much. I cook, clean, take care of kids, and work part-time from home. He doesn't really help with the house, which I am fine with, nor with the kids, which is much more of a problem. I change all diapers, wake up at night, take care of fevers, doctor appointments, school run, playdates, everything. The now thought of going through another pregnancy, then taking care of a baby, makes me want to cry. I know I would have to do it all practically alone, because my husband provides and women have been doing it for centuries. I should pull my weight and not be spoiled. It all culminated last night. After another of his, I take great care of you and kids, and we should have a 3rd monologue, I snapped. I told him that he really doesn't. The kids barely know him. When he comes home from work, he doesn't pay any attention to them, except to snap at our daughter when she is too loud. He doesn't know anything about our days because he doesn't ask, and I stopped telling him because he wasn't listening anyway. He is not a great father nor husband as he likes to preach, and I have no desire to be a single mom of a 3rd child. 2 are quite enough. He stared at me dumbfounded, that called me some horrible names such as delusional and ungrateful, then stormed out to his mother house. Update. The morning after I made this post, my mother and father-in-law showed up at my house. At this point, there was still no word from my husband, which we will call Ray for the story. It was obvious that they expected me to be alone since my kids were with the brother-in-law, but my sisters came over, so she was with me. So we all sat down to have a conversation. I know I was being annoying, but I kept repeating that I don't see a point of that. Conversation should happen between Ray and me. We are grown-ups and married. I didn't see a reason for them to meddle. They took great offense to that. My mother-in-law at one point said that she doesn't understand what happened to me. I am not the girl her son married anymore. I said of course I'm not. He married a teenager, and I'm now a grown woman. She turned beet red and started screaming at me, to which my sister said she is going to call police if she doesn't calm down. After a few insults, mostly him abusing her son, and how bad of a mother I am, they left. Ray showed up a few hours later, not to ask about our children or to see how I am, but to berate me on how I treated his mother. Again, I think my sister being there changed his plan, since he toned it down when she came downstairs. He demanded for her to leave. She refused and said that she is going to go upstairs so we can have a conversation, but she is not going anywhere until I ask her to, which I didn't. He started with basically saying that I am a bad wife, that I don't love him since I don't want more kids, and I blamed him for it. I shouldn't be speaking with him like that. He is a great father to our kids, etc. I asked which kids. Kids he hasn't seen in 3 days and didn't ask how or where they are. He then freaked out when I told him they are at brother-in-law's, calling them both vile names that I don't want to repeat. Our conversation lasted an hour and nothing productive came out of it. We were going in circles. I was scared because he multiple times started grinding his teeth and putting his hands in fists, but he would calm down after a few seconds. I said if he is not willing to work on our marriage and thinks that he is completely in the right, we should get a divorce. He, at first said fine, if that's what I should pack my stuff and leave. I started packing. He ranted how I'm going to live without him, how he can't wait for me to explain to kids why they are moving and similar. I said that kids are not moving anywhere. They are staying in the house and which parent stays here is taking care of them. He really couldn't comprehend what I'm saying. I am not turning our kids' lives upside down. Divorce is enough of a change. They are not going anywhere. Then his tune changed. He was willing to hear me out. I swear I thought I'm going to pop a blood vessel from rage. I said I don't care anymore. We are getting a divorce. Only questions are about logistics and our kids. To not make this post even longer, this also went in circles. Then he grabbed my shoulders and started shaking me. My sister got involved. They started pushing each other. I called the police. We managed to push him through the door and locked it. He left before police came. We gave statements and I stayed at the house. I am fine, but my sister has a few scratches. Currently, I'm bombarded with texts from his family. Again, not a peep from him. I am filing for divorce. I don't know why I thought that this can end any differently, but I'm also glad that I tried. I know that I'm a great mother, and I do a lot to take care of my children. Thank you all. I got amazing advice and words of encouragement. Internet can also be full of wonderful people, and I'm grateful for each and every one of you. What did you think of these stories? Let me know your thoughts about them in the comments, and thanks for listening.